Everyone, please welcome to the stage a man who for decades has redefined the boundaries of music and pushed the limits of the human voice. Here to perform from his new album, SpiritYouAll, 10-time Grammy Award winner, Bobby McFerrin.
Pensando bem ela bem eu polo na nete também se tu pobala no pete pa 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 tu pete pau vai la tu pai pale tu pa casa tu pale primeiro mas para la na mesa seca pobre de bambi Kaya do bina de do sala Biki ga Woman easy mele Tira do banana Every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart I will pray Every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart I will pray every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart. I will pray every time I feel the spirit moving in my heart. I will pray up on this mountain. My Lord spoke. Out of his mouth came fire and smoke. I looked around me, it looked so fine. I asked the Lord if all was mine. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, moving in my I don't know every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. We're going to play a few more pieces and then we're going to open the floor to questions if you have any. You want to ask any of these members of this band. There were 6 of us this morning, but there's 3 of us now. They took different cars and who knows where they are, right? Would you like to play, Gil? Let's play Dylan. Play that song. Shall we? They say everything will be replaced, yet every distance is not near. But I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Ooh, any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Every man needs protection. They say every man must fall. Yet I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above the wall. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Ooh, any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Stands a man in his lonely crowd, a man who swears he's not to blame. Ooh, all day long I hear him shout so loud, crying out that he's to blame. He's not to blame, that is. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Ooh, any day now, any day now, I shall be released. Lewis got it. He got it. Gil's got it. Thank you. I've got the world on a string, on a rainbow. Got to stand to read the poem. What was it? Badu me, this is glad to do. I can't hear what you're playing. But I'll go with it. I'll take anything I can work with. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing. I can make the ring go anytime I move my finger. Look at me, can't you see? I'm in love. Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I've been selling so and so. If I should ever let go, I've got the world on the string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. So bad, you want it? I'll sing the bass. Gil Goldstein on the keyboards. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow, got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can't you see, can't you see, I'm in love. Titsy bob the bubbly. I've got the world on a string, I'm sitting on a rainbow, got a string around my finger. What a world, what a life, what a world, what a life, what a world, what a life, I'm in love. We did do that.
Are there any questions at this time? Is there anything you'd like to know about who we are and what we do?
Okay.
My girl back home, I almost forgot. The moonlight swims, I liked her a lot. We got engaged, both families were glad. Okay, 10 points if you know what that is and where it's from. Yes. South Pacific. Give this man a round of applause.
Who came up with it? What is the name Google? Where did it come from?
It's
Googa! Daddy, Googa! Googa, Daddy!
Was it from a little kid?
It's
or
similar
something
to a
like-
word with a one with a bunch of zeros.
I figured that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of figured that one out.
Yeah, it's just a big
It's
number.
just a big number.
Yeah. Which was named by a child, yes. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions for Bobby, there's microphones on either side, so please line up.
Don't be.
So we can get you, this is recorded for the YouTube, so we need you on mic to get you recorded. So this album, I've been listening to this, and it's been incredible.
And you notice we only played a couple of pieces.
Yeah, I know. I was wanting more. I was itching for it.
Well, we just didn't go there.
All right, well, buy the album, yes. So SpiritYouAll, the name of the album,
Yes.
honors the legacy of your father, which was a very talented man, correct?
Yes, he was extremely talented. He was the first African American to sign a contract with the Metropolitan Opera back in 1955. I remember seeing his debut in '56. I was 6 years old, and it was Rigoletto. And he had to wear this hump on his back and this long, crooked nose. And so at the intermission, my sister and I went backstage, and we saw this man that we thought, wait, is this Dad? Is this, because he had this hump on his back and a crooked nose and stuff. My sister wouldn't get anywhere near him.
Really?
Nowhere close. She just would refuse to go into the dressing room because she was convinced that was not Papa,
There's no way it could be. And your mother too, right? Your mother was.
They met in church choir. My mom was my dad's accompanist for a while. She was also a voice teacher. Both of my parents were voice teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I read somewhere that you would hide under the piano during her voice lessons?
During his lessons.
Oh, she
When
was teaching him.
No. Yes, let's start over again. Take it all back.
Good.
My father was teaching, and so I would hide under the piano when he was giving lessons to his voice students. So I picked up a lot of stuff,
Right.
He was a good teacher. He was a great teacher.
And he was also...
Not a lot of politically correct things, like, when somebody does something and they say, oh, that was wonderful, but you
There's
could
always
try
a but.
working on this or that, My dad wasn't like that, oh, that was wonderful. No, he was never that way. He'd say, that wasn't good. He would just be honest from the get-go.
Well, that's the best way to be.
That's the best way to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was also the voice of who? For Sidney Poitier, right?
That's right. In the movie Porgy and Bess, 1958. It's it's kind of hard to come by. It's difficult to get a copy of it. I don't think you can. I don't think the Gershwin estate.
I'm sure we could Google it.
You could probably. Ooh.
Point made. So, so the album, you've described it as going through a quiet revelation, correct?
I
Why?
did.
Why so quiet? Why not just?
I said that?
Yeah, it was in writing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So why not just beatbox it from the top of the tallest tower or something?
Beatbox what?
Your revolution, your
revelation. Quiet revolution.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said revelation.
No. Did I?
He said that. Let's back it up.
Is it?
Quiet revolution.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
start all over again.
Okay, so the album.
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
So the album. We'll skip that question. All right. So this is the first album you produced centered around your faith, correct?
Well, it certainly involves it, yeah, because I grew up in a Christian home. My grandmother was a really, really strict Catholic. Fish on Fridays, Mass every day.
Right.
She got up every morning around 4 and prayed. She was. I think where I am is because of her prayers. And then I sang in the children's choir in church. I was an acolyte or an altar boy. Mm-hmm. I did that. When I was about 16, I thought of entering a monastic order because I was really into. I'm still very much into quiet. I mean, it might not seem like it, but when I'm at home, I have a house in the woods, and I like quiet, and I meditate a lot and walk my dog and help my wife in the kitchen with slicing up vegetables for cooking or whatever she needs, stuff like that. I like quiet activities because when I'm on stage, I get a little loose,
Mm-hmm.
And but it's the only time that I'm really kind of a little nutty and goofy is when I'm here,
Right.
doing my tunes and singing my songs.
Doing your tunes.
There
So
he is.
yeah, so it. What was that?
There he is.
One more time.
There
Thank
he
you.
is.
So it's centered around your faith. Is this the first album you have done that's been more of a religious undertone?
Yes, it is, and I've wanted to do it because I've been thinking about this project for at least 20 years. It went through all kinds of, what's the word when it's like metamorphosis. Yeah, it's gone through all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted SpiritYouAll to be, but then about 2 years ago, I thought maybe if I took some of the spirituals that my father sang. He recorded an album of spirituals in 1957 on the Riverside label called Deep River, and so I used that as a basis for this album. I didn't want to do it like my dad because his was very, well, not classical, but he had a classical trained voice. I wanted to do something that was a little bit more folksy and jazzy and bluegrassy and country and whatever.
Oh, the bluegrass. Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. I come from a tiny little town in North Carolina where bluegrass is the big thing. So
Yeah.
where did you get your bluegrass influence from?
Well, I've heard some, mostly I think in films, maybe a few recordings in the past. I've always been attracted to it. We were in Ireland about 3 years ago and we played in a little town called Limerick. And they were having a reception for me, so I'm supposed to walk in and shake hands with all these guests, have my picture taken, sign autographs and stuff like that. And when I walked through the door, there was a band playing in the corner, and they were playing genuine, Irish music. I mean, the old traditional stuff with the pipes and the violin, the fiddle, and all that kind of stuff, which is where our bluegrass music comes from. So I sort of gravitated over there, sat in a chair, just hung out with the band while all these people are waiting for me to have my picture taken with them and stuff like that. And I completely ignored them. I couldn't help myself because the music was so inviting,
Right.
and it really pulled me into their center. I just was stuck there. I sat down and I could not believe what I was hearing because it was such beautiful music. I love sort of the plain, simple rhythms of the American heart, I love jazz, I love bluegrass, anything that's that's come out of the soil, even though bluegrass really is from Ireland. I tried so hard to talk like an Irishman, but they wouldn't let me because they said it's not that good, But I tried. The secret to it, I think, is if you don't move your lips. You smile.
Just
you
gotta
smile,
talk like this
you
the whole
smile like
time.
that, right? And you start to talk, and that's the best way that I can think of doing it. But it's not that good,
When I get into my Irish accent, I always have to start going tar, 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 tar.
Tar, tar,
It just
tar.
helps it out a little bit.
Ah, right.
Let's take a question over here.
I hope you don't mind, but I have two questions. The first is, yeah, well,
Okay.
the first is I've seen a number of musicians who sing as they play, which I always thought was fascinating.
Sing as
that
they
they know
play.
their instrument so well that they're singing along with their playing while
Right.
they're doing a solo. But you are playing while you're singing. What instrument are you playing on that
Oh,
mic?
this? I played clarinet when I was 10, and I have a feeling that this was a carryover of it. That's
Because
all. And it gives me a tactile connection to the notes.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
Well,
it's very consistent, so I
Thank you. Well,
couldn't tell what it was. Could be
Clarinet.
keyboards or
recorder, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Cool. Second question is, there was at least two times this afternoon where you started singing something,
Yeah.
and after a short time, your keyboardist started playing.
Yeah.
So which is it? Are you starting in the correct key because you've got perfect pitch, or is he picking up the key you're singing in?
He's picking up the key that I'm singing.
Okay.
He's got good ears. I have imperfect peach. Peach.
Peaches?
Imperfect
Imperfect
peach.
peaches?
Start all over again. Start all over
Rewind it
again. Imperfect pitch.
I kept saying peach in my head, too.
I had to think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Over here?
Hi. I was wondering what you sound like when you're stuffed up, and if there are any sounds you can make only when you're stuffed up that you wish you had.
Every little tea, I have no idea what I sound like. I've never, attempted to sing anything when I'm on stage. I couldn't possibly do this. I'd have to stop. But I could try. I could say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best I can do for tonight. So I'd sing for about 30 minutes, and then I had to stop.
Sounds about
The
right.
answer is no.
All right.
What
You
if
only
you
have
have
one question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if you have a drummer who keeps sneezing?
That happens sometimes.
Hitting your head on the cymbals?
That also happens.
Yeah?
Hi, I want to thank you for coming. I've been listening to you my whole life. My question is sort of random. It's about your multi-tonal stuff that you do.
Multi-tonal.
Like when you sing harmony with yourself, I just have to say it's badass. It's so cool. My question is, how did you discover that you could do that, and what was your inspiration, and how can I do that?
Okay. Let me tell you. I worked on my technique for 6 years before I did my first solo concert. I practiced at least 2 hours a day. I took a tape recorder with me everywhere I went. I purposely stayed away from listening to other singers on purpose because I'm very impressionable. I was afraid that if I found a singer that I liked, I would latch onto their technique and I'd never find myself. So I did a few things. I practiced for 6 years. I recognized also that what I wanted to do involved more than singing notes. You had to sing character, you had to sing color, you had to sing language. And so I started experimenting not only with the notes, but the texture of the notes, the approach of the notes, the dynamics of the notes, the weight of the notes, all that stuff, had to go into it. I could see myself on stage alone. I couldn't hear anything initially, but as I started to sing a lot, and practiced a lot, creating all kinds of exercises, singing intervals of tenths, working on my chest voice and my head voice. Chest, head, things like that, So it just involved a lot of singing over and over and over, just all the time. Singing 2 records, instrumentalists, singing over changes meaning chord changes, That's it. Being a character, having fun, just giving yourself permission to sing and sound like anything,
And what about the 2 notes at once thing?
That's buzzing your lips for one tone and then humming. That's it, sort of. It's no secret. I can, what? Hum and whistle? I wish I could hum and whistle. I can't. I know someone who can whistle and hum in counterpoint. And she has a singer. She has a sister who can do the same thing. So they do 4-part Bach things. It's pretty amazing. And her name is Irene Goodnight. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Do-do-dee. Yes.
Thank you. So touching back, talking about when you were starting to sing, you had a band when you were 14, right?
I lived in Los Angeles. I had a band called The Fascinations when I was 14. I've been a working musician since I was 14. I'm 63, so what is that, 64? Is that 50 years? Almost 50 years? Working as a musician. And I had a band called The Fascinations. We played the top 40 stuff that was on the radio at the time.
Right. So you were piano at that point, pianist, right?
I was a piano player, right.
Yeah. So what was in the band? You guys had the piano. Did you have
piano, guitar, lead guitar, rhythm guitar, drums, and lead singer.
That's wonderful. Okay, question over here, yeah?
Hey there. Sorry, I got
You
laryngitis.
with the stars
what's up, man?
in your eyes.
But the one that goes
Oh,
Can
yeah, I
you
knew it. Yeah.
and the part where the car goes by.
Yeah. Gonna get in my car, drive away, drive so far. No one's gonna find me. Put my foot on the gas, accelerate. drive so fast. No one's gonna catch me. Thank you, thank you. There's a question down here, yes.
Yep.
Did you ever get unhappy singing Don't Worry, Be Happy?
You know what? Let me tell you. The answer to that is no, because by the time you heard the tune, I had sung it 500 trillion times. So
So how do you keep making it new and magical?
I don't sing it. I don't sing it anymore in concert. I haven't sung it all the way through, I think, in at least 20 years. It's probably like 1988, 1989, something like that. Because I got basically tired of singing the song. Now, the blessing is nowadays I go on YouTube and I'll find these 8-year-old kids singing, "Don't worry, be happy, da, 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 da." And so I like, watching these, the multi-generational, people just falling in love with this tune and singing it, and they're playing it in karaoke bars, grunge bands are playing it, and a cappella groups are singing it, and it's just, that's a blessing for me.
And you also did the Cosby Show theme song.
I did. Yes, I did.
Did you? This is shot in the dark. Do you know who, or did you do the Doug theme song
The Doug?
on Nickelodeon?
I don't even know who Doug. Who's
I
Doug?
guess not.
No.
Yeah, anyway, it was it's very similar genre, so I didn't know if you had any influence over that.
do it. No.
Yes. Go YouTube that. It's
All
it's pretty
right,
good,
if
yeah.
you say so. You think it's worth it to go check it out?
I think you like it.
You think so?
I do, Governor.
Oh.
Okay, so going on to the future, I guess before I go there, let's take this question over here.
In a world where time travel exists,
You can do that.
one man dare to enter the time traveler.
I'm jealous of that skill.
Well, just try it.
No.
No. So you've got to have two elements. The first one is in a world.
In a world.
And then,
In a world.
And then one man.
In a world.
Yeah. In a world.
In a world.
One man.
One man.
But a bing.
Question, please.
It is such a treat to hear you in person. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for coming. I just want to tell you, your album Circle Songs is something that for years I've always turned to if I needed some spiritual uplifting. So
thanks.
I want to thank you in person for that one.
You're very welcome.
I also, my hometown is St. Paul, Minnesota, and I was
Sure.
wondering how you enjoyed working there when you were
I
working with...
loved it because when they hired me, I was a brand new conductor. I had no clue what to do with the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra. I didn't know how to rehearse. I hadn't settled on any kind of stick technique of any kind, to lead the orchestra, hand technique, So they were very, very patient with me. They hired me, understanding what they were getting into, and I worked with them for 6 seasons, 7 seasons, one or the other, and they were my first teachers. And this is a revelation. I'm spending a lot of time trying to be a conductor. So I figured you had to talk like a conductor. Clarinets in bar 92, a little bit more diminuendo at the end of the phrase, blah, blah, blah. And finally, I just wasn't getting it. And dadgummit, the woodwind section comes to me one day in my dressing room, and they said, why don't you just sing to us? Duh. What a revelation that was. And so from then on, when I wanted something from a particular section of the orchestra, I'd sing it. And that would give them all the information, the flexibility of the phrase, the dynamics of the phrase, how long the phrase went, how long it lasted. And that was a revelation for me. And I don't know why I didn't think of it. I mean, I'm a singer after all. Instead of trying to sound very conductorial, they said, just sing to us. We'll get it, but just sing.
Thank you.
I
That's
loved
beautiful.
it. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of more of a technical question. I'm very impressed with how, with the effects with the percussion effects you do in your voice, but I can't help but notice that I believe there's some reverb going on or some delay. Is this just my mind playing with tricks on me?
No, it depends. Sometimes there's a little delay depending on what I'm doing. I've been working with the sound man, Danny Vicari, for 25 years. He knows me really, really well. So, he'll just maybe put a little delay on something if it's, no, you're not hearing anything. You're not hearing anything. You're not hearing anything. You're not hearing anything.
So, in that case, I'll grab a second question. So I always felt that voice is a very natural kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at least right now, ever since 70s and 80s, delays, first going digital, I feel that they mess up a lot of it. Like they take a lot of naturality.
Auto-tune.
So do you have what's your opinion on that?
I don't like a lot of it. I don't like manipulating of the voices a lot. I think it's an excuse for not being talented. A lot of singers rely on it to help them sing in tune and whatever. I don't really want to get into it. It's a waste of time for me. I don't explore it. I knew at the beginning that I didn't want to use any effects, doing solo concerts, because I was afraid that if I got in trouble, doing an improv and it wasn't working, that I'd bail myself out by clicking a switch, and bringing up some kind of an effect. I didn't want to do that, so I stayed away from it. I like to do everything organically.
Have you ever gotten in trouble in a concert?
No.
Then you're all set.
Well, it's improv. If you mess up, you don't really mess up in improv.
Just do it again, and it sounds like you did it on purpose.
Do it again, sounds like you did it on purpose. Right. Or maybe what you messed up took you someplace that you hadn't intended on going, and you find something that you would not have found if you had stuck with your original intent.
So how long have you been playing with these two fellas?
Since, Gil and I have been playing together off and on for a few years, maybe 5 or 6 or something like that. Maybe even longer, 7 or 8, whatever. And Louis since maybe April. End of March, beginning of April.
Oh, yeah, it seems like you guys, you're
you're
very tight.
Yeah, I should also say that there's 3 other members of the band who weren't here today because, I don't know. I guess they thought there wasn't enough space on stage for everyone. But we have 3 additional players: bass, acoustic bass, and 2 guitar players. One guy plays pedal steel, slide, mandolin, fiddle, and acoustic, and then the other guy plays acoustic and electric guitar. So,
wow.
And then with Kato playing guitar, so sometimes we have 3 guitars playing. So it's including myself. It's a 6-member band. 6-piece band.
So how much time do you spend rehearsing improvisation?
Now?
Yeah. Well,
Every day. I don't know how much time, but I sing every day.
Right. Not you, but as a whole band, because you guys have to know. You start learning each other, and you learn about each other.
They have great ears.
Right.
If I take off and start to improvise and come up with some, really off the wall place that I want to go, they pick it up really quickly.
Is that part of the audition process?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give them a beat and see if they can make it sound good.
Yeah, sure.
That's not bad. Question.
Hi, this might be a bit of a broad question, but I was wondering if you could tell us about a time when there was some vocal effect that really gave you difficulty, like in learning how to do it and ultimately getting it the way you wanted it to sound.
No, I never tried to. My approach was never to listen to a sound and try to imitate it. I never went for that.
You just made them all up
I would
from
just
scratch?
make them all up on the spot. If I'd give myself different exercises to play, like say, for 2 minutes, I'm only going to sing one note. So how many different ways can I sing it? Things like that. I would give myself all kinds of musical challenges to face. That's all. But I never would listen to a sound. A lot of people say, well, you sound just like a trumpet. Well, I never studied the trumpet. You know, I never listened to the trumpet and tried to emulate it or imitate it. I never tried to do that. It was always just trying getting things out of me, or from the inside out.
You seem to. It sounds like there's all sorts of sound effects that you can do. You must have learned how to make the car sound, for instance. That's certainly imitating something.
Well, I use what I hear, basically.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I guess we're running low on time here to wrap it all up. Here you are now, and you've come so far in your career. Where do you see yourself going? What's the next step?
I don't really know. I'd like to write more. I put some new equipment in my studio in my house recently, and I hope to get to it when I have a nice span of time that I could devote to it. I have a hard time writing when I'm traveling. That's one thing, and that's probably it. Right now, I'm just into playing with these guys.
Have you ever thought about collaborating with your children at all? Because they're
Well,
also
I have.
very musical.
I have. In fact, my daughter sings in this band when she's got a free day. She's got a band of her own, and when she's not working with them, she joins us. And then my oldest son, Taylor McFerrin. You could probably find him online. He does a lot of things. We've worked together a few times. We did 2 dates in Paris and 2 dates in London a few years back, 2007, I think. And then my middle child's an actor, and he's out on auditions all the time.
Right.
So.
Well, I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, so everybody, please visit him online, BobbyMcFerrin.com. You've got a Twitter account at Bobby McFerrin, Facebook /Bobby McFerrin, and then I've been listening to him all week on our Google Play Music All Access. It's been incredible. So thank you very much. Give him another round of applause. All right.